In the last session, we discussed about what is server architecture, right? So what is Docker? Currently, why the project teams are looking for a Docker infrastructure, Docker containers, right? So what are the advantages of Docker? How we can deploy applications? So currently, why the project teams are widely using Docker containers? These are all we discussed, right? Yeah. Today we are going to discuss about networking part. So networking. So before going to start cloud, right, we need to understand this basics. So if you understand this basics, you can easily understand cloud infrastructure, AWS infrastructure, right? So our course is multi-cloud with DevOps, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. Three clouds will be covered. Along with that, DevOps also fully covered, right? So in DevOps, nearly 12 to 14 tools will be covered. Fine. So every tool will go deep dive. Every cloud platform will go deep dive. So AWS will take nearly 35 to 40 days, right? So after that we start DevOps. So DevOps, every tool will go deep dive, right? After that we'll start Azure. After that we'll start Google Cloud, right? So along with that, Linux will be covered. Shell scripting also will be covered. Fine. Yeah. So today we are going to discuss about networking part. So what is network? Types of networks. Currently, why the project teams are using cloud networks, right? What is the difference here? I will see that. Yeah. So what is networking? Anyone? What is networking? Anyone? Anyone having idea? What is networking? What is network? Someone saying not able to hear. So can you hear me, everyone? Can you confirm once again? So Wasabi, you have some issues with your internet connectivity. You can check it out. Just sign out and sign in again, so that you can, yeah, so you can get the connectivity. You can hear. So Vasavi, can you hear me now? Is it fine? Still, if you are facing any issues, you can just sign out and sign in, so that yeah, issue will be fixed, right? Yeah, fine. So networking is, yeah. For example, when we talk about network, it's a group of servers, group of devices, right? A computer network is a system in which multiple computers are connected to each other to share information and resources, right? Yeah. So, for example, in the hospitals, right, or schools or colleges, right? So we use different systems, different desktops, laptops, right? So in hospital, for example, let us take hospital example, right? Yeah. So patient's data, that data will be stored in the central server, right? The server will be hosted in the server room. So from every place, from OP and medical store, from everywhere, we can access the patient data through LAN connectivity or Wi-Fi, right? So in the server central location, we store the data. We can access the data through network, right? Either it can be LAN, local area network, or Wi-Fi, or any network, right? So network is nothing but it's a group of device, group of servers, group of switches, group of routers, right? To share the resources, to access the information, right? See here, these are the group of systems, group of desktops connected through local area network, right? To share the information, to share the resources. Fine. Yeah. So what are the characteristics of computer network? Let's go through this. These are very important. Okay. So share resources from one computer to another, and create files and store them in one computer, and access those files from other computers connected over the network. We can store the data in central location, central computer, which is we can say server, right? So the data we can access from any place, right? Through LAN connectivity, through WAN connectivity, or through Wi-Fi, we can access the data. So connect a printer, scanner, or fax machine to one computer within the network and let other computers of the network use the machines available over the network. What does it mean? For example, so as we discussed, hospital example, right? Or school example. Hospitals are schools. So for example, school, 5 floors are there. So every floor, instead of configuring printers in every floor, we can configure printer in one floor. That printer we can configure as a network printer. From every floor, from any floor, we can print the documents, right? So the request will go through the network, right? So due to this, what will happen? Instead of configuring printers in every floor, we can configure one printer as a network printer. Due to that, what will happen? Costing will be reduced. Cost saving, right? Yeah. So costing will be reduced, and also, yeah, the data will be protected in central location. So when you take the printout, when you send the request will go through the network. Fine. Yeah. So what are the hardware devices required to set up computer network here? See here, network cables required to set up this, right? So distributors required, routers required, internal, yeah, internal network cards required, and also external network cards required here. To set up a computer network, these are all the devices required here. So network cables. When we talk about cables, a very popular cable is RJ45 cable. So category 5 cable. Network cables are used to connect computers. The most commonly used cable is category 5 cable, which is we can say RJ45 cable, right? So see here, this is a very common, very, yeah. In this cable, we use the color coding. So very commonly using this cable. Every project team, for example, when we buy any router, internet router. So along with that router, we get one cable, right? Which is RJ45 cable, right? So we are using Wi-Fi, but why we require cable? What is the importance here? For example, normally when we book any Tatkal tickets, right? So we connect this cable. When we connect this cable, speed will be increased. So LAN, so local connectivity, the speed will be increased. Okay, instead of using Wi-Fi. Even Wi-Fi also very faster. Compare with Wi-Fi, when you connect cable, the speed will be increased. Okay. Next one, distributors. What is distributor? See here. A computer can be connected to another via serial port, but if you need to connect many computers to produce the network, this serial connection will not work. What does it mean? See here. So this we can say loop back adapter, one network to other network. If you want to connect, we use this serial port, one network to other network. If you want to establish the loop back adapter, right, we use this serial connection. Next one, router. What is router? So a router is a type of device which acts as the central point among computers and other devices that are the part of the network. It is equipped with a holes called ports. Router backside we have four holes, right? Those we can say ports. Computers and other devices are connected to a router using network cables. Nowadays, routers comes in wireless mode, yeah, using which computers can be connected without any physical cable, right? See here, this is the Wi-Fi router, wireless mode, right? So in our home, so when we want to connect internet by using Wi-Fi routers, we are using. Even though in offices, projects also, currently they are using routers only. Earlier we used to use LAN connectivity, but currently every organization they're using internet routers. So even you can carry your laptop to canteen also, cafeteria also. You can access from canteen also, cafeteria, breakout area, right? So in our office, when we move to the breakout area, so we can carry our laptop, right? Yeah. Network cards. So when we talk about network cards, two types of cards are available. So network card is necessary component of computer without which a computer cannot connected over a network. It is also known as the network adapter or network interface card, NIC. So most branded computers have network card pre-installed. So network cards are two types, internal and external network cards, right? So normally branded systems we get within the motherboard we'll get one chip, network chip, network card chip, right? So we have internal network cards, external network cards. So yeah, 10 years before or 15 years before, we used to use one external PCI card to configure network adapter. We used to use external PCI card, internal network cards. I'll show you. See here. So motherboard has a slot for internal network card where it is to be installed. So internal network cards are two types, in which first type is peripheral component interconnect PCI, and second one is ISA, industry standard architecture. See here. So this is the internal network card. So to configure network, this is mandatory in desktops. In laptops already inbuilt cards are there, but desktops, even desktops also inbuilt cards are coming currently. So earlier, 10 years, 15 years back, we used to use these cards, right? So once we insert this card on our motherboard in the desktop, we need to install drivers. Then only this will be activated, right? So currently we are not using, but this terminology is very important. Okay. Yeah, external network cards. So external network cards are two types: wireless and USB cards, right? So wireless network cards need to be installed into the motherboard. However, no network cables is required to connect to the network. See here. So this black one is the external card, black one, right? So this is the USB card. Currently, USB cards also using, right, to connect our internet, to connect internet. Next one, what are the important types of networks? So we have four types of networks are available. So what are those? Let's try to understand. These are the types of networks. PAN, personal area network, local area network, wide area network, and metropolitan area network. So four types of networks are available. So let us go with one by one. So first one is PAN, personal area network. See here. So PAN is a computer network formed around a person. It generally consists of a computer, mobile, or personal digital assistant. PAN can be used for establishing communication among these personal devices for connecting to a digital network and the internet. So personal area network. See here. This is the PAN connectivity, personal area network. So around the person. So for example, I'm using my laptop, right? So along with the laptop, I'm using Bluetooth mouse, right? So Bluetooth keyboard, Bluetooth headset, Bluetooth mic, Bluetooth printer, Bluetooth scanner. That is personal area network. So around the person, right? Within the room, within the floor, we can use that. There is a distance limitation, right? So this PAN connectivity is very secure because less distance. Okay. See here. So what are the characteristics of PAN here? It is mostly personal devices network equipped within a limited area. So allows you to handle interconnection of IT devices at the surrounding of a single user. So PAN includes mobile devices, tablets, laptops, etc. Right. So advantage of PAN. See here, PAN networks are relatively secure and safe. No one can hack this because very less distance, right? And yeah, it offers only short range solutions up to 10 meters only. This will work within 10 meters only, right? So strictly restricted to smaller area. So within the room or within the floor, we can use the PAN connectivity. So disadvantages also there here, so which are, we can say, distance limit. So limitation. If you move to out of the floor, out of the room, this will not work, right? So that is only the disadvantage, right? This is by enabling the Bluetooth we can use the devices here. Okay. Second one here is LAN, local area network, right? So yeah, it is a group of network devices that allow communication between various connected devices. It covers the smallest areas such as colleges, schools, hospitals, so on. See here, this is the LAN connectivity. Through RJ45 cables, we can connect our LAN, right? To share the resources, to share the data. So what are the characteristics here? It is a private network. LAN is completely our own network, right? Yeah, LAN operates at a relatively higher speed compared to other WAN systems, right? See here, advantage of LAN. Computer resources like hard disk, DVD RAM, printers can share local networks. This significantly reduce the cost of hardware purchases, right? Yeah, resources we can connect through LAN connectivity. So data of all network users can store on a single hard disk of the server computer. It will be easy to manage the data at only one place. Make data more secure here, which make data more secure. So when we store all the data in the central location, that data can be very secure, right? Disadvantage of LAN. Here. So unauthorized users can access critical data of an organization in case LAN admin is not able to secure centralized data repository. So if the LAN admin is not capable, definitely hackers will enter into the network, right? So this is LAN connectivity. Next one is MAN, Metropolitan Area Network. So yeah, it covers largest area than LAN such as small towns, cities, etc. MAN connects two or more computers that reside within the same or completely different cities, right? So MAN, metropolitan area. So within the city or different cities, you can establish the connection. So when Geo launches in Hyderabad, for example, Geo network launches. By the time they used to cut road, mid of the road also, they configure the cables, right? Within the city are different cities, right? Yeah. So man, metropolitan area network, we can say, right? So within the city, yeah. Here there is a distance limitation here, 50 to 60 kilometers range, right? Yeah. See here. So man connectivity, schools, hospitals, colleges, factories, etc. What are the characteristics here? Here, it mostly covers towns and cities, maximum 50-kilometer range. Mostly used medium is optical fiber cables. So when we have more distance, we use optical fiber cables. Here we cannot use RJ45 cables, right? So optical fiber cables, the signal will go through light signal, very faster. But these cables are a bit costlier also. Okay. Yeah, so here advantage of MAN. So it offers a fast communication using high-speed carriers, the fiber optic cables. It provides excellent support and extensive size network and a greater access to WANs. Yeah, a MAN network mostly includes some of area of city or entire city. Okay. Disadvantages of MAN. See here, you need to more cables to establish MAN connection from one place to another. In MAN network it is very thought to make the system secure from hackers. So because MAN connectivity more distance, that is why. So here we require network administrators. They need to protect the network here. Next one is the last one is WAN, wide area network. See here. It covers a large area than LAN as such, yeah, LAN as well as MAN, such as country and continent. So country to country, continent to continent, if we want to establish a connection, we require WAN, wide area network. So WAN is expensive and should or not might owned by one organization. So one country to other country, if you want to establish a connection, one organization they cannot manage that. They cannot spend the budget. That is why group of companies they can configure this. Okay, so this is mostly satellite medium used for wide area networks, satellite communication, right? Not local connection, not LAN. Wide area network requires satellite communication. Okay, see here. This is a combination of LAN and MAN and WAN. So what are the characteristics here? Okay. So any organization can form its global integrated network using WAN connectivity, and advantage of WAN. See here, WAN helps you to cover larger geographical area. Therefore, business offices situated at longer distance can be easily communicate. Right. So yeah, WAN connections work radio transmitters and receivers built into client devices. Disadvantage of WAN. See here. So initial setup cost of investment is very higher. So country to country, continent to continent, when you want to establish connectivity, So this is a high investment. Okay, it is difficult to maintain the WAN network. You need skilled technicians and network administrators required here. There are more errors and issues because of the wide coverage. The use of different technologies we can configure the WAN connectivity, right? So here this is the combination of WAN, LAN, and MAN, right? So these are the four types of networks: LAN, MAN, yeah, PAN, LAN, WAN, MAN, right? So any questions up here? This terminology is very important. So this is yeah. Actually, currently we are not using LAN connectivity because we are using Wi-Fi everywhere, every organization. But this terminology is very important. So whatever terminology we have here, if you understand this, you can easily understand in cloud. Any questions up here, anyone? Before moving to next concept, any questions, anyone here? In our nations, do we use LAN? So still people are using LAN connectivity, but most of the organizations they are using Wi-Fi. See here. Next concept here is what is an IP address? What is an IP address? What is IP address? Anyone? Anyone having idea? Internet protocol, right? What is Internet protocol? IP stands for Internet protocol. What is Internet protocol? See here. Yeah. So an IP address is unique address that identify device on the internet or a local area network. So every server, every desktop, every laptop, every switch, every router is having their unique IP address. So to identify the device in the network, we require IP address, right? So which is the set of rules governing the format of data sent via the internet or local network. For example, when I open command prompt here, if I check here IP config, I can see my IP address here. See here? So this is my IP address. IP version 4, IPv4 is nothing but IP version 4. So currently we are using IP version 4. So maybe going forward we use the IP version 6. IP version 6 is the latest one, advanced one. So currently we are using IP version 4, right? So this is the class C IP address. This is the class C IP address. What are the classes? I'll show you. Okay. Yeah. First of all, what is the difference between IP version 4 and IP version 6? Let's try to understand. IP version 4 and IP version 6. Yeah. So IP version 4 versus IP version 6. Okay. So what is the difference here? So IP version 4 is the 32-bit address. 32-bit address. IP version 6 is the, how many bits are there here? Anyone? IPv4 is the 32-bit address. IPv6 is 128-bit address, advanced one, right? So what is bit? What is bit? So IP version 4 is having 4 octets, 4 octets. Okay. So each octet is having 8 bits. IP version 4 is having 4 octets. Each octet is 8 bits. 8 into 4. That good, right? Yeah. So here IP version 4 is having IP version 4 is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. So like this, each octet is 8-bit. For example, 192.168.0.10. This is the IP v4, right? So this is one octet. This is one octet. This is one octet. This is one octet. 4 octets. Each octet is having 8 bits. That is why 4 into 8, right? So 32-bit address. But here IP version 6 is having 128-bit address, right? So here, see here, I can show you differences here. See here, this is the IP version 4, this is the IP version 6. Okay, so IP version 6 is not required currently, so we can learn later point of time. Because so IP version 6 still we are not using. Most of the organizations they are using IP version 4. Okay, yeah. Next one is IP classes. IP classes. What are the classes available here? Okay, yeah. So class A, class B, class C, and class D. Four classes are there. IPs. Fine. So class A range. I'll show you here. See here. See here. Class A 1 to 127. Class A range is 1 to 127. Right. For example, 10.0.0.0 is the class A address. Class B 128 to 191. The range, IP range. Okay. Class C 192 to 223. Class D also there. That is we can use for other government sectors normally. Okay. So these three ranges are very important. So currently we have here. So this IP address is which class? Anyone? Class C, right? Class C range. So these classes currently we don't require because AWS will take care of this. AWS will take care of this. So earlier, when we use physical data centers, by the time network administrators they used to calculate this. Currently, we don't need to worry about, but we need to understand the concept here, right? While working on AWS, we'll go deep dive. While working on AWS, this IP classes will go very deep dive. Okay, so now I'm just covering this basics here. Okay, while working on AWS we'll go very deep. Fine. Yeah, so here this is the IP address. Next one is here. So types of IP addresses, what are the types available? What are the types? First one is yeah, private IP address. So every system, every laptop or desktop or every server, how many IPs will be there? Anyone? Every server or desktop or laptop, how many IPs will be there? Only one IP, right? See here, if you see here, only one IP is there. This is my IP address. This is the network IP, right? But cloud side, AWS side, two IPs will be there. In AWS, we have two IPs. See here. First one is private IP address. Second one is public IP address. In AWS, in cloud, not only in AWS, Azure, Google Cloud also. Every cloud platform is having two IPs per server. Okay, so first one is private IP, second one is public IP. What is the use of private IP? What is the use of public IP? So private IP is a IP, it is a static IP that will not be changed. That is mainly for internal communication, right? So public IP is the IP to connect our server, we use the public IP. To connect our server, we use the public IP, right? So now go to AWS. So AWS, tomorrow we are going to start. I just want to show you the IPs. So this is my AWS console. So in the AWS console, when I check the server here, when I check with the server, every server is having two IPs. See, for example, Docker server is there. Public IP, private IP, right? So public IP is not there here. Public IP is the dynamic IP. What is dynamic IP? Yeah, that will be changed every time dynamically. So currently this server is in stopped state. Stopped means shut down. When the server is shut down, stopped, this IP will be go back to data center. Okay. So private IP is the static IP. It is not dynamic IP. That is why this is the permanent IP. This is for internal communication, private IP. Public IP is for to connect our server. Everyone following right, online guys? So everyone following right? You understanding right? Public IP is a IP. It is a dynamic IP. To connect our server, we use the public IP. Private IP is the IP. For internal communication, we use the private IP. So private IP is a static IP. You understand right, Nakul? To connect our server, we use the public IP. Right? While working on AWS, I'll show you how can we connect. Okay, fine. So in public IP, again we have two types of IPs are there. In public IP, again we have two types of IPs are there, which are like dynamic IP, static IP also there in the public. Right? Don't confuse here. While working on, we'll go deep dive. So along with these two IPs, one more IP is there. Along with these two IPs, one more IP is there in AWS. Third IP, which is elastic IP. Elastic IP. Go to AWS. Go to network and security. Elastic IPs. Three types of IPs are there in AWS: public IP, private IP, elastic IP. You understand, right? So why we require elastic IP? What is the importance? We'll see that while working on AWS. How can we generate elastic IP? How can we assign elastic IP to the server? We'll see that practically, right? So yeah, currently we are theoretically we are discussing basics, right? So our sessions more into practical. Every session practical. So currently these are all basics. These are all basics, very basics, right? So tomorrow we are going to start AWS. Tomorrow onwards, we start working on console, AWS console, right? Next one, what is subnet? IP address we understand, right? What is subnet? Anyone, what is subnet? See here, what is subnet? Anyone? Subnet is a subnetwork, small network. Instead of the large network, we can create the small network, subnetwork. Understand right, everyone? So instead of the large network, we can create the subnetwork. Fine. For example, in this floor, we have different rooms, right? If you don't have rooms, what will happen? One class is going there, one class is going that side. Okay, here office staff is there, here our class is going. If you don't have these partitions, what will happen? Noise, right? Disturbance. So that is why we created a small room to control the noise. The same way, instead of the large network, we can create this sub network, small network, to control inbound outbound traffic. Okay, for example, in our project, 1,000 servers are there, right? So 300 servers are development servers, 300 servers are testing servers, 400 servers are production servers. In production servers, database are configured. Database configured. So database servers, I don't want to allow inbound traffic, but all the servers are in same subnet. So all the servers are in same subnet. Definitely they can communicate each other. For example, so we don't have any partitions here. We can communicate anyone, right? We can call them. So when we customize, when we create our own space here, we can control the noise, right? Same way, so when you want to deny or allow traffic, we require subnet, small network, right? Yeah, subnetting concept is there, very important concept. We'll go deep dive in AWS. Okay, IP addresses, subnets, gateways. These are all very important. while working on AWS console, AWS concepts. We'll go deeper. Okay. Yeah. See here. A subnet or subnetwork is a smaller network instead of the large network, right? See here. These are all subnets, small networks. Okay. So these subnets, when we create subnets, we can control inbound, outbound traffic. Okay. Yeah. Next one. What is the network switch? What is network switch? See here. A switch is a device in a computer network that connects other devices together, right? So multiple data cables are plugged into a switch to enable communication between different network devices. Okay. So switch, see here. This is the traditional switch. This is the traditional switch we use in data centers. Okay. What is gateway? What is gateway? Gateway. It is a door. It is a door. Simply we can say. Why we require gateway? Why we require door? To secure, right? If you want to go out, if you want to come out, right? If you want to lock, require door, right? See here. This is the gateway. This is the gateway. So this is one network. This is another network. This network range is 10.0.0.0/8. This range is 20.0.0.0/8. Two different ranges, two different networks. If you want to communicate from one network to other network, we required gateway. For example, if you want to go to from this room to that side, we required gate, right? Same way, if you want to communicate one network to other network, we required gateway. Okay. Yeah. Next one, what is firewall? Firewall, right? Yeah. So firewall is a network security device. Firewall is a network security device. Okay. See here. A firewall are network security systems. Firewalls are network security systems that prevent unauthorized access to the network. So firewall is a network security device. This will allow deny the traffic. So it will, yeah, it will prevent unauthorized access. Unauthorized access means, yeah. So normally when we join into the project, we get laptop, right? So by using that laptop, we can connect our office network. But if you use personal laptop to connect your office network, that is not possible. That will not be allowed, right? So we need to use the authorized access. We can connect our network using authorized authorized credentials, authorized network, authorized devices. Okay. Yeah. So it can be hardware or a software unit filters that incoming outgoing traffic within the network, right? So when we configure firewalls, firewall will allow good traffic, it will deny bad traffic. Okay. See here. So when we want to connect our office network, we connect through network, internet. We connect through internet. So internet is the most vulnerable network, most dangerous network. Internet is the most vulnerable, dangerous network. Internet. So internet is having threats, viruses, malwares, issues, errors, fixes, right? So if you want to connect your office network through internet, we require firewall. In the firewall, what we will do? We can create firewall rules. So as per the firewall rule, it will work. It will allow good traffic. It will allow, firewall will allow good traffic, and it will deny the bad traffic. Bad traffic will not be allowed by firewall. It will allow only good traffic. Understanding, right, everyone? So firewalls are very important, right? It will allow deny the traffic. Next one, what is replication? What is failover? What is load balancer? Replication. What is replication, anyone? Replication. Anyone having idea? Real time, guys. What is replication? It is a duplication, synchronization. We can say duplication or synchronization, right? So why we require replication? What is the importance here? Why we require? For example, in AWS, see here, right top corner we have Ohio. Ohio. This is the US data center. Ohio is the US data center, server room, right? US East 2. See here, Ohio is the US East 2 data center, right? So these are all we can say regions. These are all we can say regions, data centers, AWS data centers. Region is a data center, right? So here we have North Virginia, Ohio, North California, Oregon, Mumbai, Osaka, Seoul, Singapore, Sydney, Tokyo. So these are all data centers, Europe regions, South Africa regions, right? So these are all data centers. So if you want to replicate the data from one data center to other data center, if you want to duplicate, for example, Flipkart application hosted in Mumbai data center. Mumbai data center. So Flipkart application we can access globally, right? Globally, we can the application will be accessible, right? Globally, from any location we can access. So the application is hosted in the Mumbai data center, in AWS data center. So Mumbai data center is down. What will happen? Application will be down. We cannot access the Flipkart. That is why, so replication will be enabled. So in case Mumbai data center is down, that will be accessible from Singapore. That will be accessible from US region. You understand, right? So in case one data center is down, application will not be down when we enable the replication. That data will be duplicated to other location. Understand, right, everyone? See here. Replication is a technology for copying and distributing data and databases objects from one database to another, and then synchronizing between databases to maintain consistency and integrity of the data. In most cases, replication is a process of reproducing the data at the desired targets. See, this is the primary region, primary data center. This is the secondary data center, secondary region. So in the primary region, we have data. We enable the synchronization, replication to the secondary region, right? So user is accessing from primary region. User is accessing the data from primary region. So in case primary region is down, the data will be accessible from secondary region, which is nothing but failover. Failover. Automatically that will be failover to secondary region. You understand that, everyone? What is synchronization? What is replication? You understand it. Replication is nothing but duplication to other data center. So what is failover? In case one data center is down, other data center will take care of the resources, right? What is load balancer? I'll show you. Okay. Next one, see here. Cluster. Next concept is cluster. What is cluster, anyone? What is cluster? Group of devices or group of servers, right? So what are the advantages of cluster? Benefits of cluster? Fault tolerance and also load balancing. What is fault tolerance? Anyone? So this is the cluster. This is cluster. Cluster is nothing but a group of servers, right? So what is fault tolerance? In case, yeah, group of servers. We are talking about group of servers, right? So in this group, applications will be deployed. In case one server is down here, application will not be down anywhere, right? Two servers are crash, nothing will be happened. Application will be accessible, right? And also load balancing. What is load balancing? So for example, Flipkart application is there. We hosted Flipkart on this cluster. One service is getting more request, right? The request will be distributed equally on all the servers, which is nothing but load balancing. So for example, in a project, 10 members are there, team members. In a project, 10 team members, DevOps engineers are there, 10 DevOps engineers, right? So everyone getting 30 requests per day, 30 tickets, 30 tasks every day, right? Yeah. In the 10 members, 5 members went on leave. What will happen? Everyone getting 30 requests per day, total 300 requests, right? So in 10 members, 5 members went on leave. What will happen? That load will be balanced to other guys. So each one need to handle 60 requests, right? Or else, one more example. So in the 10 members, 3 members resigned, left from the project. Other 7 members handle the project. Project will not be stopped anywhere. You understand, right? Which is nothing but a cluster. Which is nothing but group of team members. We can say cluster. So in case one guy is 10 members, within the 10 members, 5 members not available. Other members can handle, right? Yeah. Next one. Why Linux? Why the project teams are using Linux in real-time projects? What is the importance of Linux here? So most of the servers we are using Linux. 90% of the servers. Okay. So why Linux? What is the importance here? See here. It is a free, open source, very secure. Yeah, so many distributions available, so many flavors like RHEL, CentOS, Ubuntu, Fedora, SUSE Linux, Amazon Linux. So many flavors are there, right? And a fast performance. So compare with Windows, Linux is very faster, right? That is, these are the advantages. That is why every project team they're using Linux servers to deploy the applications, right? So no viruses, no malwares, no slowdowns, no crashes, no costly repairs, right? So these are all advantages of Linux. That is why. So most of the organizations, most of the project teams, they're using Linux. So in our course, Linux will be covered. In our course, 4 to 5 hours, Linux will be covered. Malwares. So malware is nothing but one of the threats, one of the errors, issues. Okay. Yeah. We can work on Linux 4 to 5 hours in our course. Okay. So we are not Linux admins. We don't require entire course, Linux course. So whatever required for DevOps engineers, that will be covered. Okay. Fine. Any questions here, anyone? Any questions here, anyone? I give you unmute option. If you have any questions, you can ask me. So anyone newly joined today, can you share your WhatsApp number, email address in the chat? My mobile number is 96422111711. So everyone can take down this number, right? So if anyone joined today, can you share your WhatsApp number, email address in the chat so that we'll provide you previous recordings, demo recordings. What is IP address range for class D, right? So class D, see here. So we discussed already classes right here. 224 to 239, right? Class E also there, but we don't use in our real projects. These are the government sectors they use. Class E also 242, 255, right? These are the classes, right? Yeah. So any questions so far, anyone?
In the IP address, you said 32-bit. There also, I'm not sure, it's a 64-bit also there?
No, no. 32-bit and directly 128.
Okay.
Currently, we are using 32-bit. So maybe going forward, after 1 year, after 2 years, we use a 64-bit. Sorry, 128-bit, which is the IP version 6, IPv6. Currently, we
Okay.
are using IPv4, right?
IPv4. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Fine. So tomorrow we are going to start AWS. Okay. So tomorrow,
IPv4 is for the for sharing the, I mean, connecting to the network with other machines, right?
can you come again? Can you speak a bit louder?
The the IPv4 is used mostly for the the sharing of the networks, right, to connect to the
Yes.
virtual machines.
Yes. Yes. Correct. Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
So what is the difference between this IPv4 and V6? Why
Yeah.
V6 is
Different.
not used?
Yeah, difference is advanced one. IP version 6 is advanced one. Currently we are not using. So maybe going forward we use that. Because these ranges are filling. IPv4 ranges are completing. Right? So next we can move to
Okay.
advanced one. Right?
Okay. Usually in my working place, what we use when we are taking the remote session or remote view of the other machine,
IPv4 only.
yeah, we
IPv4.
use V4.
Both are so can. Yeah, few companies they are using. Few companies they started using IPv6. But most of the organizations they are using IP version 4.
So
Okay.
is this related to the the V4 and V6? Is this difference between the range? If we take the
Hmm.
IPv6, will it be faster or V4 will be this? It's same as V4.
Advanced one. No, 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 not faster. IP is for communication only. So
Okay.
IP version 6 is advanced one. Range is higher. Okay.
Okay.
Fine. Yeah. So tomorrow we are going to start AWS. Tomorrow onwards, the practical sessions, practical oriented sessions, all the sessions. Okay. So those who are not registered so far, you can register today itself. So tomorrow onwards, link will be changed. Okay. So tomorrow onwards, so we are going to work on AWS platform. Okay. So AWS, every service will go deep dive. Nearly 42 services will be covered in AWS. Okay. Yeah, so every service will go deep dive, very deep dive. Fine. Yeah, if you have any more questions, if you want to talk to me, you can reach out to me on my mobile number. So my mobile number is 96422111711. So you can share your WhatsApp number and email address, the people who joined today. So that will provide you previous recordings. Fine. Yeah, we can wind up here.